Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another video. Today I will be making another fun build of mine. So we will start off with the troop combination, or let's start off with what the build is to be about. So this is going to be a trigger build. What do I mean by trigger? We will feature a lot of skills and mechanics that have a certain percentage to trigger something. So for example, we have the dodge mechanic of the cavalry that has a certain percentage chance to trigger something. So this build is going to be all about things like that. Let's start off with our troop combination. The troop combination that we will focus is going to be cavalry as our frontline unit, just because of the fact that cavalry has way more triggers than infantry. And for our backline, we will be playing archers and mages, because both of those unlock certain percentage triggers by doing some Mystic College research. But we will start off with the gear. So since many of you guys and I myself and some that are going to be there will also be C40 at some point. So the gear that I'll be featuring is going to be from 30 to 40. So let's start off with the weapons that we'll be going for. As I just said, we have as our backline, we have mages and archers, but still we will feature the Holy Crossbow because it's straight up just better as the Dusk Ode on 30, because it also has the additional recruitment speed up and army size limit, so just a very beneficial weapon. On 35 we'll be following up with the Mastery Staff, also because it has way more upside than the Fiery Crossbow, even though we also would benefit from the additional cavalry attack. But I'm simply a fan of additional army size limit, because when you play this build in team attack, for example, all of those triggers will really add up the more troops you have. So, and on C40 we will go for the Dragon Shard Staff because of double mage attack and army size limit. The sword itself would give you a cavalry attack in addition to your double backline damage, but overall it's just a lot about army size in this build, so we would go for the Dragon Shard Staff. So continuing with the belt, on 30 we would go for the Sacred Belt because of the mage attack. The additional building speed up is actually nice because we just want to rush our castle level, so let's stick with that. The Blessing Belt also has no help for our backline damage, and yeah, so overall this would be our 30 belt. On C35 we would go for the Eternity Belt just because of the additional mage attack. The angel limit is also a nice thing to unlock that pretty early, even though our angels don't have any base triggers, so we won't profit much from that. But angels are always a nice help when you come to those events where you need their additional health pool. They are just very strong base stats. So for example, like the Monster Swarm, angels are just great in these events. And then our C40 belt would be the Guardian belt, because as I just said, we play cavalry as a frontline unit. We have cavalry HP on it. We also have archer attack on it. So just great for the build that we are going to and the backline that we are going to feature. On our accessory, we would go for the Holy Blessing because there's mage attack on it. There's building speed up on it, just good for C30 that's still growing, and followed by our Perfect Heart, because we have infantry attack on it, we have archer attack on it, we have angel attack on it. So overall we are building this for the archer and for the angel attack, because the Chaos Bracelet only has mage attack on it, so we have two beneficial stats for our offense on the Perfect Heart. And our C40 item would be the Dragon Tooth Necklace because of the additional angel HP and additional mage attack. The recruitment speed up also very helpful. The Lionheart ring just doesn't make the cut here because we would only profit from the archer attack and the angel HP. And yeah, I see the point of just going for the additional recruitment speed up. Then we come to the helmets. We would start off with the Templar Crown simply because of the fact we focus cavalry, we need the additional recruitment speed up, we need the additional army size limit, just a great start. Followed by the Royal Crown, adding the same things just with better stats. Of course, we lose the recruitment speed up, but we increase our angel limit, so just make a backup Templar Crown there, and overall just a good addition. Finished by the Guardian Helmet because of additional cavalry HP, army size limit, recruitment speed up, just a way better version of the Templar Crown. Let's continue with our chest. We would play the Templar armor on C30. Yes, you might be asking why that? Well, simply because of the fact we are still building troops, we are building a castle, so recruitment speed up plus march speed up can be very helpful, and you probably will bring some infantry on C30 to some stacks because you don't have the dodge trigger yet. Cavalry ain't that strong in stacks yet if you don't build around it with your whole alliance. So Templar armor, just a nice addition. Then from C35 on, we will continue with the Celestial armor, double cavalry defense, and the additional stamina recovery will just help you to grow your castle even faster. So Celestial armor, definitely the thing to go for. And on C40, we would go for the Guardian breastplate, double cavalry defense, more stamina recovery. In this, also the angel attack isn't that interesting for us because, as I just said, we focus archers and mages. But still, angels are there, angels are relevant, so still this is going to be a fun build. When we look into the boots, we would simply just go for the Dusk boots because we have cavalry and archer attack on those. We would try to gamble those to orange quality, and that would be it. We wouldn't go for any of the other boots because we could consider going for the Guardian boots for the additional cavalry HP, but we want to deal damage, we want to profit off our triggers. Our triggers will probably increase the damage that our troops are dealing, so having very high base stats or very high base attack of our units is just relevant in this build. So that's it for the gear, and now we come to one of the most interesting parts. What mystic technology would we do? Well, we would do everything that has a certain percentage to trigger. We would go for the dodge mechanic, we would go for the savage impact, we would research the fatal hit. All of these things, you're clearly hearing it, okay, this is going to be all about triggers. And last but not least, we would focus the split arrow. The good thing about this build is that you only have 2 of those very expensive skills when it comes to your troops combination, because yes, you can also do the fanaticism skill of your mages, but still it isn't trigger based, so it doesn't hold the highest priority. Maybe for the late game it will be interesting for you, but overall we will focus the fatal hit, the split arrow, and both of the skills for cavalry just to maximize our dodges that we can do. Continuing with our artifacts, this is going to be a bit more of a low-key version, because what we are interested in, due to the fact that we have mages and archers in our backline, we will be looking for attack boosts. So what would we pick? We would pick the Excalibur because of the simple attack boost as a base stat, cavalry attack on it. It will also finish off with troops damage at the 6 star, so just great. And we have the regular income of fragments every week from this one. Another artifact that we would feature is the Heavenly Spear, because we would work on going to the 3rd star as fast as possible for the attack boost for all of our units, because as I just said, we have mages, we have archers in our backline. Angels also profit from it, but they are not featured in this build here. So, and the damage against cavalry is also pretty nice. So, then followed up by Mjolnir, also for the same reason. We have attack boost at the 3rd star, we have damage increased against infantry as a base stat, so overall just a lot of value here. Now we are coming to the trigger based things, and we would go for the Kellet Witch, as you can see here from the 4th star on, also another attack boost improvement. And in addition to that, the Lightning Bolt skill has a certain percentage to trigger something, and by meaning with that, we would have the chance to stun our opponent's units that we target with the lightning ball. But now we are coming to the MVP of this video. It's definitely the Apollo's Bow. The Apollo's Bow says it has a certain percentage, 7% on the 1st star, to increase the damage that one of our unit pools is dealing by 1.5, and that is just huge. From the skill improvement, if you have the artifact at the 5th star, you can upgrade the skill, and then you would be at 14% to trigger it, followed by probably 21%. This is just huge, and this is also one of the reasons why we are playing mages and archers as our backline unit, just to have a lot of units pools that can trigger our Apollo's Bow. Sure, the damage is reduced overall because you're sending less units per unit pool, but in the end it's still about triggering stuff, and that would be just so much fun. So overall, just great artifact and definitely the MVP here. When we look into the beast skills, this is basically up to you, so I'd be interested in some army size limit, attack boost, and damage increased against infantry, damage increased against cavalry, all of that stuff. But the beast itself is very interesting because who you would pick is actually, let me open it up, the dragon, because it has the skill on it to go for the dragon strength, and it says launch dragon strength every 15 seconds in battle, randomly increases 2 of your troops' critical strike rate by 5% and the critical strike damage by 150%. This can go up to 25% critical strike chance, and that is just huge. In combination with the Apollo's Bow, you would be triggering those critical hits all over again, and this is just great. I can really imagine how this build would work. It would be great. Still, in stack attacks with cavalry, it would really be a thing like tell your whole alliance to work on cavalry and then it would be great, but still with cavalry it's a bit clunky here because of the fact that you would have to play it in solo attacks. Solo attacks with only archers and mages is kind of like not really a thing if you are missing out your angels because they are just too strong. But overall, I can imagine it being very funny if the whole alliance works together and goes for this combination of bringing cavalry as a main frontline unit as a whole alliance, and then you showing up with 4 backline unit pools with all of these trigger-based percentages to use an additional hit, to stun something, to deal more damage, and so on and so on, or the split arrow from the archers. Just great. So I imagine that this build is very funny. So let's quickly come to the summary of all of that. What we would have is the Dragon Strength skill. That is just very powerful. Of course, it'll take a while until you get there, but I imagine it being very funny. So what else do we have? We have the dodge skill. We have the Savage Impact. We have the Split Arrow. We have the Fatal Hit. All of these are certain triggers that can happen, and it would be just so much fun to max those out and watch a battle and just be sitting there, okay, how often will it trigger? And then it all just triggers. It would be so much fun. So, and last but not least, quickly about the artifacts, we would have the Colored Wedge skill. Sadly, by upgrading this skill, it won't increase the chance to stun your opponent, but still, it's a trigger, so you just go for the first level. And in the end, you would finish this whole build off with the Apollo's Bow, and this thing would be just going to be the MVP in this build if you max it out. So 1 level of Colored Wedge, level 3 for the Apollo's Bow, and the rest just into your array upgrades, and it would be so much fun to see how this works. Alright guys, this is actually my trigger build, so let me know down in the comments below what you think about it, and then I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye guys!